Hello, success seekers. Welcome to Deep Dive Podcast, where we unpack the hidden gems of personal growth. Today, we're diving into Earl Nightingale's groundbreaking book, The Strangest Secret, a message that'll flip your understanding of success upside down. If you're ready to transform your mindset and achieve tremendous success, you're in the right place. Let's dive deep. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel.
Hey everyone! Ready to unlock some serious potential?
I am.
Today we're diving deep into all things success.
Sounds exciting.
What it really means, why it feels so out of reach sometimes, and how we can actually, get there.
Right.
We're cracking open Earl Nightingale's The Strangest Secret.
Oh, a classic.
I know, right? Just the title gets you thinking, What is this strange secret? And why did it have such a big impact?
Well, one of the things that always strikes me about Nightingale is that he doesn't get bogged down in those get-rich-quick schemes.
Yeah.
He, totally reframes the whole idea of success.
Totally. It's not about winning the lottery or becoming a viral sensation overnight. Nightingale, he says success is, and I'm quoting here, the progressive realization of a worthy ideal.
I like that.
Yeah. It's more about constantly moving towards something that you think is really meaningful.
It's so powerful because it puts you in control. It's not about some external markers or anything, like a fancy car or a big house.
Right.
But your own personal growth.
Yep. So success isn't this far off, impossible thing.
Yeah.
It becomes a journey, something anyone can start.
Exactly.
Okay, so we have this empowering definition of success. But then Nightingale hits us with this, pretty serious statistic.
Oh.
Only 5% of people achieve significant success by age 65.
Wow.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think he connects it to this idea about human nature,
Yeah.
He says most people just conform without even realizing it. They're following the crowd instead of making their own path.
So we're all kind of on autopilot, just going through the motions, but why?
I think it's a lot of things, like fear of failure, maybe not having clear goals.
Yeah, without that burning desire or knowing where you want to go.
It's so easy to just get swept up in what everyone else is doing.
You become what Nightingale calls outer directed.
Right. You're just reacting to whatever happens, not creating your own life.
And I think that's where the strangest secret comes in, right? This idea that has the potential to change everything.
It's surprisingly simple, though.
Okay, drum roll, please. The secret is we become what we think about.
It's so simple, it almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
But, when you really think about it, this idea, it pops up everywhere.
All throughout history.
Yeah. Marcus Aurelius said, a man's life is what his thoughts make of it.
And then there's Emerson.
A man is what he thinks about all day long.
So this isn't just some feel-good self-help saying. It's a real concept, with deep roots.
Absolutely. And even William James, the father of modern psychology, said, the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind.
Oh.
And that's coming from a scientist.
Totally.
Nightingale explains it with this great analogy.
Yeah,
he compares the human mind to a piece of land. Fertile land. Whatever you plant there, that's what you're going to get. So if you plant corn, you get corn. But if you plant poisonous nightshade,
you get poison.
Exactly.
So if you're planting positive thoughts, goal-oriented thoughts, you're setting yourself up for success. But if it's all negativity and self-doubt, it's like you're working against yourself.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, are we really using our minds to their full potential?
Nightingale says we take our minds for granted.
Yeah.
Because they're free.
Yeah.
It's like having this amazing, powerful tool and using it for, opening junk mail.
Oh, I like that. So how do we start using this tool the right way?
He suggests a 30-day experiment. It's a challenge, basically, to put this secret into practice and see what happens.
I am always up for a good challenge.
Yeah. It's not just reading about it. It's putting it to the test.
Right.
So he lays out a plan. It's all about being committed and doing it consistently.
Okay, what's first?
Identify your goal. He's very specific about this.
Yeah.
It needs to be clearly defined, something you can actually picture yourself achieving, not some wishy-washy, I want to be happy goal.
Makes sense.
What's next?
Okay, then it's controlling your thoughts. This is the hard part.
You have to actively replace fear and negativity with positive, goal-focused thoughts.
Like tending that fertile land we talked about.
Exactly. You have to cultivate your mind on purpose.
Okay, what else?
Then Nightingale says, go the extra mile, exceed expectations, put in the work even when it's tough, knowing that the more you give, the more you get back.
Okay, so going above and beyond.
Exactly.
Got it.
And last, he says save. Set aside 10% of what you earn.
Oh, interesting.
It's not just about money. It's a reminder that you're committed to growth.
Like a visual reminder.
Yeah. And that you believe you can succeed.
You know, I noticed Nightingale talks about repeating this 30-day experiment. It's like you're building a muscle or something, right?
I think so, yeah. The more you do it, the stronger you get.
Makes sense.
He connects it back to faith, too. He says persistence is showing faith in yourself and the power of your mind.
So it's more than just positive thinking. It's about action, persistence, and faith.
Exactly. And it's important to remember that success isn't just about you.
It's not.
Nightingale is really big on this idea of service. Service? Like, true wealth comes from providing value to other people.
He says money is a yardstick for measuring service. So the more you contribute, the more you help others, the more abundance you get back.
It's like a natural law. The more you give, the more you receive.
Yeah.
And that applies to everything, not just your job or business.
Your family, community, everything.
Everywhere you go.
This is where things get really interesting. Nightingale talks about Dr. David Harold Fink. He developed a framework for success.
These 6 steps are like a roadmap, a practical way to use the strangest secret. They build on positive thinking and taking consistent action, like we've been talking about.
Awesome. So what's step 1?
Setting a definite goal. We already touched on this with the 30-day experiment, but it's so important. It's the foundation.
Makes sense. What's next?
Step 2 is to quit putting yourself down.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, silence that inner critic, challenge those negative thoughts, and start believing in yourself.
I like it. What's step 3?
It's about focusing on the reasons you'll succeed, not why you might fail. It's so easy to get caught up in what could go wrong.
Right.
We need to visualize actually achieving our goals.
Okay, what's next?
Step 4 is a bit deeper. Examining those limiting beliefs.
Limiting beliefs.
The ones we often carry from childhood.
Oh, right.
Those subconscious scripts that might be holding us back.
Yeah.
So it's about recognizing them and then actively choosing to rewrite them.
So step 5 is?
Craft a positive self-image. You're literally creating the image of the successful person you want to be.
That's powerful. And the final step?
Act the part of that successful person. This is where it all comes together. You're aligning your actions with your goal.
Embodying those qualities.
Exactly. This framework and that 30-day experiment give you concrete things you can do. It's empowering because it shows you that you can actually shape your reality through your thoughts and actions.
Wow, we've covered a lot already, but I feel like we're just getting started.
There's so much more to uncover.
Stay with us. Our deep dive into the strangest secret continues.
We'll be right back.
And we're back with our deep dive into the strangest secret. So we've been talking about how powerful our thoughts are, the importance of goals, taking action. But how do we actually use this stuff?
Right.
Luckily, Nightingale gives us some really great examples, stories, to really bring these ideas to life.
He is a great storyteller.
Yeah.
One of my favorites is that ship leaving the harbor analogy.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. He talks about those 2 ships.
One with a captain, a crew.
The plan.
Yeah, they know where they're going.
And then the other one.
Just an engine running, no guidance.
So he's saying the ship with the goal, the direction.
Way more likely to reach its destination.
While the other one
could get lost, shipwrecked even.
It's like our own lives, isn't it? If we don't have a purpose, if we're not steering our own ship.
They're just drifting.
Exactly. And it goes back to what we were talking about before.
Being outer directed.
Yeah, instead of inner directed.
If you don't have that clear goal, you're at the mercy of everything around you.
Totally. Okay, what about that story with the guy in the stove?
Oh, that one's good. It's about how people approach success. They want the rewards without the work.
Like expecting to harvest crops when you haven't planted anything. You can't just wish for success. You have to actually do something.
Nightingale says people want that shortcut.
Yeah?
They want to bypass the whole cause and effect thing.
It doesn't work like that?
Nope. Success comes from effort, dedication, doing something consistently.
Speaking of effort, what about the analogy with the earth-moving machine?
Oh, that's a powerful one. That massive machine with a tiny guy guiding it. All that power.
And he compares that to our minds, right?
Yeah, the human mind. This amazing source of energy we all have.
But are we using it right? Are we directing it towards something worthwhile?
Or are we letting it run wild, with worries and negativity and distractions? It really makes you think about controlling your thoughts, focusing them on your goals.
It reminds me of something William James said.
What's that?
We need only in cold blood act as if the thing in question was real, and it will become infallibly real.
It all comes down to belief, doesn't it? You have to act like you've already achieved your goals, even before you see the results.
This reminds me of visualization.
Yeah, Nightingale talks about that too.
It's like a way to program our minds for success when we really imagine achieving our goals.
It's a blueprint for action.
So far, we've been focusing on personal success. But Nightingale also talks about how success impacts the world around us.
It's not just about ambition. It's about doing good.
Being of service.
Exactly. He says true wealth comes from helping others, providing value.
He even says money is a yardstick for measuring service.
The more you do for the world, the more you give back, the more you'll have in your own life.
It makes you wonder, what if everyone used this secret?
What do you mean?
Like, what if instead of just focusing on our own goals, we all use the power of our minds to make the world better?
That's a pretty powerful thought. Imagine all that positive energy.
Focused on kindness, compassion, innovation.
Almost like a collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Our shared thoughts shaping reality.
It's not a new idea. You know, philosophers and spiritual teachers have been saying this for ages.
Yeah.
But it's exciting to think about. What if we all really embrace this? We could create a world where success is about everyone, not just individuals.
Like amazing vision.
Okay, we've covered a lot. Stories, analogies, this idea of service, even like changing the world.
But there's one more part of Nightingale's message we need to talk about.
Okay, and what's that? And we're back. Wrapping up our deep dive into The Strangest Secret, we've talked about so much. Our thoughts, setting goals, taking action, helping others. But there's one more piece, and Nightingale really hammers this home.
What's that?
Creative thinking.
Oh, yeah. He says it's not enough to just think positive.
Right.
We got to use our minds. Like really engage them, be creative, find new ways of doing things. He even calls it
What?
Using the gold mine between your ears.
I love that. It's like we all have this hidden potential, right? Just waiting to be discovered. But how do we tap into it? That gold mine.
Well, he gives us some tools, techniques to boost creativity, like thinking by association, combination, adaptation, substitution, magnification, minification, and rearrangement.
Okay, that's a lot. It's like a mental workout. But I can see how each of those could help you come up with new ideas.
Totally.
Especially when you're stuck. Can you give me an example?
Sure. Think about combination. That's how we got peanut butter and chocolate or smartphones. You're bringing things together to create something totally new.
And adaptation. That's like finding new ways to use something that already exists, right?
Right. Like, what are those little packets called? The ones that come in shoe boxes.
Silica gel.
Yeah, silica gel. They absorb moisture. Now they're used for electronics, even preserving artwork.
It's about seeing things differently, asking how else could this be used?
Exactly. And then you've got magnification and minification. So you're playing with scale. Think skyscrapers or how tiny computer chips are.
It's crazy how just changing the way you think can lead to such big inventions. But are these just for inventors? Entrepreneurs?
No way. Nightingale says anyone can use these techniques.
Really?
Yeah. Solving problems at work, coming up with creative solutions at home. He even talks about scrambling eggs.
Scrambled eggs? How can you be creative with scrambled eggs?
It's about breaking the routine. Maybe you add spices or try a different way of cooking them. You're just engaging your mind, even with everyday stuff.
He says, if you're doing anything this year the same way you did it last year, you're in serious trouble. It's not about reinventing everything, but it's about, like, not being complacent.
Right. You got to keep learning.
He says to be sponges for ideas, soak up inspiration from everywhere.
Reading, observing, talking to people who think differently than you. Just expand your horizons.
And being open to new things, even if they sound a little weird at first.
That's how big breakthroughs happen.
He also talks about writing down every idea.
Oh, yeah, that's important.
Even if it sounds silly or you don't think it'll work.
Get those ideas out of your head. Quantity over quality at first.
So don't judge them right away.
Just let them flow. Then you can refine them later.
Shape them. Figure out how to make them real. Which brings us back to action, right?
Yeah, creative thinking is great, but you have to actually do something.
And that takes courage, persistence, maybe even failing a few times.
Because failure is often just part of the process.
He leaves us with this great challenge. He says, the world is waiting for you. It's waiting for your best. So give it your best.
That's so true.
We all have something to offer. The world needs it.
And the key is right there in our minds.
Wow, what a journey this has been. We started with The Strangest Secret, This really simple idea.
Deceptively simple.
And look at how much we've unpacked, all these layers of meaning, practical ways to use it.
It's a message that never gets old, and it can really change lives.
So as you go forward, remember, you are the one in control. You have the power to create your own life.
That's right.
Choose to create a life full of purpose, passion, and, making a positive impact.
I think that's a legacy we all want to leave behind.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the strangest secret. We hope it was insightful, inspiring, maybe even a little life-changing.
Until next time, keep those creative gears turning.
And never stop believing in yourself.
And the power of your own mind.
That's a wrap on today's mind-blowing exploration of the strangest secret. If this episode sparked something in you, now's the time to take action. Hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep growing. This is Deep Dive Podcast, signing off.